Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Time War podcast. It has been, I don't even know how long since we've done one. I feel like our channel by now is just. I don't even know. What was the last video we did? Um,
You could you could say maybe the Maradona Cup, honestly.
True, you're right. It was either
Yeah.
that or. Wasn't it the no.
Or it was either that or it was the Star Wars
Oh, yeah.
movies ranking.
Yeah, ranking the Star Wars saga.
Which actually wasn't too long ago. It was just a couple months actually.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
hmm
But I know we definitely we hit the 400 subs. That's been great. Thank you guys. We hit 100,000 views on the channel, and then Anish's beautiful Maradona compilation got 65k views, and that was amazing. I don't know how you did that, Anish. That was applause.
Mm,
All you know, round of applause for you, man. And also the
It's
Terminator.
it's down to the subs, man. It's
Yeah,
down to the subs.
yeah,
It's down to the viewers.
yes,
So
true,
thank you for
yes,
enjoying that
yes,
and receiving it well.
yes. But yeah, so we're back now. And yeah, so I know today, Anish has a lot of shit to talk about. yeah,
Yeah, of course, man. We're
he,
just gonna shoot the shit
yeah,
and talk about
he's got a
very
yeah.
very underwhelming show, and then we'll
you
probably just
yeah
round off talking about the World Cup, right?
yes. So feel free to start whenever you want to just shit on you know what you're gonna shit on right
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not even, like, I don't think we've even talked about the World Cup, to be honest. Like, because I don't know, I need to know your take on, like, I don't know what games you've seen, I don't know what games you've missed.
now. I've seen pretty much every game actually, but
Yeah,
not
I've seen pretty close
yeah
to all of them.
not live because I'm sometimes or most of the time I'm working and I can't see them live.
Uh,
But I ended up just like rewatching them and like from beginning to end just to see what happens. And yeah, or sometimes I'll just look for goals depending on the game, and its importance. But I've seen most of them, so but yeah, however you wanna go about it, we can do it that way.
yeah, man. So first, like, I mean, I'm not going to even like talk smack. I'm not even going to like give like shit. I'm going to give like, and in the words of Mutaha,
Mm-hmm.
after that I think it was after the PSG like comeback back in February. Like I'm going to give diarrhea, man. I'm going to give diarrhea on this show.
Diarrhea.
It's called Andor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Andor. So Andor is is a fun little show. It was released on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and actually this show like it's a very weird one because like and you've not seen it, right?
Um. No, I think I've seen some clips like on YouTube, but other than that, no.
So Andor, like, I don't think. See, typically these Star Wars shows, like everybody knows how big of a brand like Star Wars is. Um, and what I would like to say about it is like, typically when Star Wars releases a product, like it could be a movie or a show, like people hear about it. Like just before we came on air, there was like a guest, and like he's not really that interested in Star Wars, but he's clearly heard of The Mandalorian, because of how big of a cultural
Yeah.
kind of revelation that was. Like Baby Yoda everywhere, Mandalorian becoming like almost a household name.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like that show, like I think the premiere of the second season or something like that, like it maxed out at like 1.3 billion minutes viewed, which is like a crazy high amount.
Damn.
Like it's like top three. Um, I think it was in the top three of the Nielsen. So the Nielsen ratings, like I mean, for those of you who don't know, like it kind of like this is this company that like maps out and tracks um, viewership for everything related to streaming and television. And so like when it comes to the Mandalorian, this was like one of the most popular shows based on the views that it accumulated, right? So like, that is typical of something Star Wars because we know how big of a franchise Star Wars is. We like ranked everything, of course, prior to the release of Andor. But
Mm-hmm.
this show Andor, like, it's not even been in the top 10 of the Nielsen's.
Yep.
Um, and it's not even been in the top 10 of like the Nielsen, like a watered down list from Nielsen. So, like, there's a watered down version of the main list, which is called like list of originals. So, this is like original content from all these streaming services like Netflix or Hulu or Amazon. You know, like, for example, like the Lord of the Rings show, that disaster was um, an original by Amazon, and Andor, like, it barely cracked the top 10 of even that list. So it's not a top 10 most viewed item, and it's like just barely like top 10 in the watered down like baby list.
Yep.
I think it maxed out at around like 500 million minutes, so this is like a third of the audience of Mandalorian, like just 30, like around like 33%, like
Jesus
tuned into
Christ.
Andor. Yeah,
Wait, have you looked at
and
like? Sorry to interrupt, but like,
mhm.
have you looked at like the Rotten Tomato score, if there is one?
The Rotten Tomato scores are excellent, so I'm about to get to that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Go
Um,
ahead. Then.
like, I mean, you can pull those up and like read them out loud. Just feel free to interrupt whenever you want.
Okay.
Um,
I did just find
but
them,
like,
but you can talk first.
mhm. And it just like the ratings, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if over the past like few weeks, like, and the Nielsen rate tracking is behind. So like, if we're now in early December, like they'll show you the ratings in like early November because they're like 4 weeks behind. So because they have to, go through everything, record, and then they post the ratings.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I think the finale's already aired.
Probably.
But they're showing the ratings for like episodes like 6, 7, 8, like around now, and every week I've been like watching the Nielsen ratings like very intently, and it's been falling. Like it falls about like every week it falls about 100 million minutes. So like last week it was like 100 million minutes less viewed compared to the week before,
Mm.
and then this week, the latest Nielsen ratings show that Andor is not even in the top 10 of the main list. It's not even in the top 10 of the baby list either. So like it I think like last week it was like around 300 million minutes viewed. So that's like what, maybe like less than a quarter of like the Mandalorian's peak. And then this week I'm guessing it's like 200 million. So it's like if the trend continued, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
nobody's watching this. Literally nobody's watching. You cannot find it on the Nielsen charts for any of the top 10 lists. This is such a disaster. And like, but like, okay, why in your opinion, like, as somebody who didn't even watch the show, like, in your opinion, like, why do you think that this flopped so hard?
I mean, well, considering like the disaster classes that Disney has, like how they've handled the acquisition of Lucasfilm, and I mean to give them credit, they did the Mandalorian, and that has been very good. And then the Book of Boba Fett, that was good, but also it was kind of just like a small like break off season of Mandalorian because in the end he showed up regardless, and so that's probably like the best um, thing that's come out of Star Wars since um, Disney acquired it,
Mm,
because we all know about those three movies and
yeah.
the ones we don't talk about, you know.
Mm,
And then Mandalorian came, and we all talked about that because it is very good. And then Boba Fett, and then was that the I think Boba Fett was the last show before this one, right? Or was there another one?
Yes, Boba
Okay.
Fett was the last, at least the last live action
Yeah.
show.
And then I know Andor is about the guy from one of the shitty movies, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, I'm assuming that because everyone hated those movies, and then they realized, oh, so this show is about one of the pilots that was in the shitty movies. So why would I even bother watching this shit? So,
Bro, you hit like so many nails, man. Keep going.
so like, what's the like what's the point of me watching this if, first of all, I already know that it's probably gonna not be good because of Disney and all their what what they've been doing to Star Wars, and then also the fact that it's that's essentially what it is. It's a spin-off of one of the, I don't even remember what movie it was specifically, but it's basically a spin-off of that, and nobody wants to see a spin-off of those shitty movies. I know there's people who liked those movies, and I don't understand how. Um, like if I had to pick which is the best of the three, it would be the first one because it was basically just a reincarnation of A New Hope in their own style, and then after that they switched directors, and then it was really bad, and then they switched back to J.J. Abrams, and then we all know what happened in the third one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the only reason that's not the only reason, but that's one of the reasons that it's just because of previous letdowns by Disney.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, man. Like, okay, so what do you remember about Andor, like as a character from
What
the movies?
what do I remember? Um, let's see. Cause like I remember him being like, I think it was in the first movie where he was like he was a lot more, I get like he wasn't obviously the main character, but they did like show him more because
Hmm.
after the first movie, like it was like he never existed.
Yeah. What was the name of the movie? Like all Star Wars movies have names, like A New Hope, Revenge of the Sith,
Oh,
Empire.
yeah. Oh, the name of the first one.
Yeah, what was the name of the movie that Andor was in?
Um, okay, I can. I remember the Last Jedi. I remember the Rise of Skywalker, and then what was the? I don't even fucking remember what the name of the first one was. Let me look it up. Hold on.
Wait, no.
No.
I know the name,
Oh, okay.
and I was asking you to test
Oh.
theory I have. Okay,
Yeah.
here's what you missed.
Uh huh.
Okay, Andor is not a character from the first movie under the Disney
Oh.
umbrella.
Okay. Well.
Andor
Mhm.
is not even a character from that trilogy.
He.
Andor was a character in an anthology film called Rogue One.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Andor was a side character in the movie, which is just remembered for one scene, which is the Vader hallway scene.
It was a good movie to
Andor,
be fair, but yeah, it
yes,
was mostly
yeah,
remembered for that.
it was a good movie. It was not a bad movie.
Mhm.
Andor and the protagonist of the movie, I think her name is like Ursa Wren,
Yeah, probably
or
something like that.
no, it's Jin Urso. Yeah, they died at the end of the movie.
Mhm.
So we're getting a show. Okay, so this is a good movie, right?
Mhm.
But like, I want to say like right off the bat, like this movie, even though it's good,
Mhm.
and this applies to a lot of the movies under the Disney umbrella, especially the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Even though it's good, it commits a very bad sin.
And what
It's
sin is that?
and that's the worst sin that any movie can commit, which is worse than just being a bad movie. And at the end of the day, that sin is that it's a forgettable movie.
Mm.
So, like, think
That's
of like the
fair.
MCU for example, like
Mm-hmm.
like all of like the those movies which came out, like so many, right? Like, okay, I'll give you one example. Um, Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, Not a bad movie. I mean, it has its flaws, sure. And I'll give you another example. Okay, of a different, like a movie of a different era of Marvel. Okay, Spider-Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which movie do you remember more?
Spider-Man 3 or what was the other one?
C. Okay, Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Oh, I don't remember anything about Ultron.
Okay, Spider-Man 3 objectively, like, I mean, tons of people like this movie, right? Like, I like it. There's so many like memorable memes from it.
Mm-hmm.
More people remember this movie than Avengers: Age of Ultron. And there's like, even though Age of Ultron, like, objectively it's a better movie than Spider-Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
It has like bigger characters. It has like Iron Man. It has Captain. It has Hulk. Some great scenes with Hulk. I mean, I don't even remember this movie that well.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason that like we forgot about this movie, um, like much like Rogue One and many
Mm-hmm.
of the Star Wars, Pixar, and Marvel movies under the Disney umbrella, is because these guys just don't know when to stop, man. Like they
Mm-hmm.
just keep cranking out like fucking content, like one, like dude, like every year, bro. There's been like two, three, four superhero movies, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
think about it, last, and bro, the quality. Oh my god, man, dude, the quality has been like going down the gutter, bro. If like, I mean, over time, the quality just keeps getting worse, and you're seeing it in Star Wars too. Because look, like Force Awakens, it has its flaws. It's almost like a carbon copy with better like CGI of The New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
But then you had The Last Jedi, and then you had the absolute mess, which was The Rise of Skywalker. The three movies released in like quick succession, like much closer together than the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And then like so much, like I think in the expo like last year,
Mm-hmm.
Disney said that they were like gonna release like 30 different fucking like properties of Star Wars, like including like games, shows, movies.
Oh, jeez.
Bro, it's too much, man. Like, oh my god.
What is
And then
hap?
like the way these guys like milk the cow dry, the way these guys clutch at straws.
Mm-hmm.
They're making a show, okay, in Andor about a guy, like a side character of a prequel anthology movie,
Mm-hmm.
and that prequel anthology movie was conceived because of one line of dialogue from A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that, man. Like, dude, that is reaching, man. That is reaching.
Yeah.
Like, if ever there was a thing. So you took one line of dialogue from A New Hope about spies retrieving Death Star information, turned that into an entire movie, and now you're taking a side character from that movie, an utterly forgettable movie, good movie, and it has fans for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot of fans.
Yeah.
And you're taking a side character, a forgettable side character from that, and you turned that like character into, you made an entire TV series about that one guy who's not even a Jedi, not even a Sith, not even a clone trooper. Like, bro, like what did you expect, man? And
Yep.
the thing is that like when you actually get into the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, like this, okay, like this is like where, like I really get pissed off with like fans of Andor. I want to say like right off the bat, like the show itself, like I did not hate the show when I first saw it. It's probably better. Like, okay, firstly, like in hindsight, right? Like, what do you think of like the Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi, quality wise?
Um, I thought Kenobi was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Besides certain things, obviously, there's some flaws, but And then I thought Boba Fett was also good, but I think I'm only saying that because of when I saw The Mandalorian.
Mhm.
When I saw Mando in the show, because before that, well, when I saw Cad
Mhm.
Bane, that was really cool to see Cad Bane live.
Right.
But
Um.
other than that, it was
Mhm.
So
Bro, like I'm not a crazy guy, bro, and I'm glad that you're being consistent, right?
mm-hmm.
Because like back when Kenobi was going on, like one of my chief complaints about Kenobi was like, Princess Leia and the portrayal of that. Like it was so unrealistic. She talks nothing like okay, she's supposed
Goodness.
to be 10. She's played by a 7-year-old
Mm-hmm.
who runs like a 3-year-old. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not the first person who said that. Like I don't know. I mean, I've read it other places, but like literally, man. Like, and she doesn't fucking stop talking, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was one of the most annoying things. But if you like read comment sections, if you read tweets, if you go on Reddit, bro, like at that time when Kenobi came out, like there was nothing but praise for this pathetic character, man. Like there was nothing but praise. Like people were like, "Oh no, it's a carbon copy of a young Carrie Fisher. She's ideal. She's special. She's amazing. She acted phenomenally." But nothing but praise, man.
Mm.
Nothing but praise. And like this is why I don't buy this bullshit, man. I don't buy this bullshit. Like, bro, like I'll have to say one thing, bro. Like Andor, man, like I said, it's not a bad show. Like I thought it was very slow,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not the first person to say this either. Like, it feels like to me like that this was supposed to be a movie, another
Mm.
anthology movie, because like I mean I get this vibe, and I'm not the like I said I'm not the first person to say this. I get this vibe from the show when I
Mm-hmm.
watch like like I haven't, dude. I could not like continue the show after like the first 3 episodes, man. Like
Mm.
this is stuff was so slow, and they say it picks up. So I watched a little bit of 6, and like I still didn't like it, man.
Yeah.
So like I get this vibe that when I'm watching this, like where it's like it's dragged out, and these scenes like which like you could finish in 10 minutes, they like stretch it into like 30-35 minutes, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so like like bro. Um, so like I get the vibe that this was supposed to be a movie, and that like they realized it wouldn't be a hit.
Yeah.
Um, so they put it on here. That's the vibe I get from this. But my problem is like the fans of the show. Like I am dead serious, dude, when I say like the fans of Andor are like by far like the most like toxic, like most asinine, most ridiculous people like in the entire like community of Star Wars, bro.
Yeah.
Like any little criticism, like okay, this show doesn't have a huge audience, bro, but any little criticism that you give the show, they will like just attack you, man. They will question, dude. They will call you like, dude, because the thing is, the show is much slower than Kenobi. It's much slower than any Star Wars show or movie. Like,
Mm.
and if you don't appreciate that, bro, they will call you like a retard, literally.
Mm-hmm.
They will call you like a dumbass, literally, like because like just because you don't like you dislike this, or it doesn't even have to be that. It could be like, okay, maybe you don't like Diego Luna's acting, maybe you don't like like the lack of action, maybe you don't like the fact that like there's very little, I'll say, okay, like for example, like Lucas had like a way in the prequels of showing like different planets, like and how aesthetically cool the galaxy can be.
Mm-hmm.
Andor is very gray. I mean, there are moments for sure, but like it's a very like gray and kind of like grounded and gritty show, and maybe you don't like that. I don't like that because Star Wars for me, I mean, it's supposed to be like in a very fantastical, like very like ethereal, like unrealistic setting, man. I
Mm.
mean, this is supposed to be a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I personally don't like that, but these guys they will attack you for like for saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't. They're like oh my god, man, dude, these guys are dumb as hell. And the thing is, man, this is what I don't like. Remember when I said like like when Kenobi was going on, all I saw was praise. Like
Mhm.
I saw praise upon praise upon praise. Like at that time,
Yep.
very little criticism.
Mhm.
But then these guys, like suddenly, like when you go into like these communities of like the current Star Wars, and especially like Andor, because Andor is like the show that's like been going on. Like these guys are just like shitting on Kenobi and Boba Fett, like acting like there was like acting like those shows were garbage. Like this is such revisionism, bro. This is such revisionism because like when I was like watching those shows and like on these communities like at that time, right? Like in the YouTube comments or whatever,
Mhm.
like for Kenobi, like I mean, there was nothing but praise, even for Princess Leia, even for the Inquisitor. Dude, the Inquisitor was garbage, man. In that show, he was
Oh
garbage.
God.
Okay, but
Yeah. Don't even
yeah, but
remind me of that.
yeah, 100%. But the people like at that time they were it was nothing. I saw nothing but praise, man, nothing but praise. And now, like people are like to defend Andor, right, and claim that Andor is like according to these people, dude, Andor is like the like I'm not shitting you, man. I'm not shitting you, bro. Like according to these people, like Andor is literally like the greatest Star Wars property. Like there's whole articles like in the media that says like Andor is like better than the original trilogy, man. I'm not shitting you right now, dude. Like
Stop. 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 There's no
these
way.
dude Pablo, man, these people are deluded, bro. They're so deluded.
Oh
Like
my God.
no, that's not even that this half of it, right? And dude, these guys are so dumb. Okay, first of all, like, bro, like they're questioning. Okay, look, they're assessing
Mhm.
people's intelligence, right? Like intelligence level from like how like if you can tolerate Andor and if you like Andor, right? So if you complain about this show, they say like, oh, you're just a dumbass and you like and you're like a child and you have a short attention span and you cannot like watch adult Star Wars.
Mm.
That's the adult Star Wars. That's the phrase that's in slow burn. These
Yeah.
are the phrases that are just being like thrown around nowadays, right? Dude, like I'm all for slow movies, man.
Mhm.
I'm all for slow movies. Like, bro, I love like Blade Runner. I love Blade
Mm.
Runner, the director's cut. I love Blade Runner 2049. I love The Godfather. Okay, I love. I mean, can you say The Departed is a slow? I mean, The Departed is like, yeah. I mean, it's a dialogue based drama. I'll say.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, Drive as well. Ryan Gosling, great movie.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I love like slower movies. I have no problem with this. Like, if the dialogue is very good, if the cinematography is very good, like the acting is very good, and like the story is compelling enough, right? Like I mean, like slow movies can be amazing. I
Mhm.
mean, and most of like those Oscar-winning movies that we hold in high regard, they are slower movies,
Yeah.
bro. Like these guys, okay, they are comparing this dog shit because that's what it is compared to like that cinema, right?
Mhm.
They are saying like in terms of cinematography, story, and acting, that Andor, the fucking flop series, Andor, the series that not even it's not even over and it's like fallen out of the Nielsen top 10. They're saying this series, in terms of story, cinematography, is not far behind The Godfather.
Not far behind The Godfather.
The Godfather
Jesus.
with Al Pacino.
Oh my God.
Dude, these people are, oh God, dude, they're so dumb. They're
Wow.
so dumb, man. Like, and dude, you know what this is?
Mm.
Honestly, you know what this? Honestly, it's just a fringe like number of people, right?
Mhm.
Who are like, and we saw this with another movie this that came out this year. Okay, it was like a Hulu original called Prey.
Mhm.
And it ties very strongly to Andor, I believe, right?
Mhm.
Like, this is just a fringe number of people who are like watching these things, and Andor and Prey, like they're like a bit better. Like Andor was like far better than the sequel trilogy. Okay, with like Rey and Finn and that stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's easily better than the Book of Boba Fett.
Mm.
Kenobi, that's a bit dicey.
Yeah.
but it's easily better than the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
no question asked. Especially when you got into the episodes of Boba Fett, which didn't even feature Boba Fett number one,
Mhm.
and like the episode where Mando was building the starfighter.
Mhm.
Like, just forget. Oh my god, man! Like it's better than that. Um, but the thing is, like, they're seeing like relative to that, like
Mhm.
it's better, so they think this is like, this is like a God's gift to mankind now,
Mhm.
because like relative to the recent shit, it's better. Does
Mm.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, so like when you're like here's what it is. So let's say you like don't eat any sweets for 3 weeks,
Mm.
okay, and then you like you put some sugar in water, like maybe like 1 tablespoon of sugar in water, and like you mix it and then you drink it. Like how sweet do you think that sugar water will be?
Probably.
Like if you've denied yourself like chocolate or anything for
Oh.
weeks and
Oh
weeks,
yeah. It would be sweet.
ridiculously sweet.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is. Like we've not been given high quality cinema. We've not been fed like high quality cinema from Hollywood for like a long time, bro.
Mhm.
And like people are seeing this very like, it's not a bad show, but I'll say it's like
Mm.
average at best. I'm gonna be real with you. Like they're seeing this and they think it's like a God, has given like a gift to mankind,
Mhm.
like that. So like literally like Hollywood has got. Do you realize like how good The Godfather is in terms of cinematography? Like, bro, like I love editing, right?
Mhm.
Like, and this is back in like 1974. Dude, they arranged the lighting,
Mhm.
and was that like it would strike the actors on the forehead, and that would give like during those very intense scenes of dialogue between the mafia, like it would fall, like the light would like fall like like over their face, and
Mhm.
their eyes would appear darkened, so like so they have like kind of like a hooded stare, like you can't, it's very difficult to see their eyes because they appear black the way like the light strikes their face.
Mm.
Okay, so like this gives it takes away like humanity. It gives like a sense of like very inhumane people, very like dark people,
Mm.
very like morbid, um amoral people, like having a discussion, because like they say the eyes are the windows of the soul, right?
Mhm.
And so if somebody has black eyes, like what does that say about them? So like this is like that subtle, like powerful cinematography, like subtle powerful imagery, and it shows the level of thought, right, that like people who made those movies really put into that stuff.
Mhm.
And they're comparing like Andor to that. How dumb do you have to be to literally like put those two things in the same sentence, bro?
Yeah. You have to be pretty
Oh my god.
dumb. Oh man.
Do you realize something?
What?
Pull up the the ratings, audience and critic, for Andor,
I'm looking at
and
it right
then
now.
yeah, and then on Rotten Tomatoes, and then pull the audience and critic ratings for Blood Diamond on Rotten Tomatoes, in a
Oh.
different tab, and just read them out.
Uh oh. All right. You ready?
Okay, so what is this?
All right. So Andor, the tomato score or like critic score is 96%,
Mm-hmm.
and the average audience score is 85%.
Mm-hmm.
And for Blood Diamond, the tomato meter or critic rating is 63%, and the audience score is 90%. So.
And holy crap, dude! Like, okay, so according to like the critics, right? And I
Mm.
know like Rotten Tomatoes does this thing where like this is not actually the grade of the movie.
Yeah.
Like 63% isn't the grade of the movie. It's really like the number or the proportion
Mhm.
of critics that like gave this like a recommendation,
Cause it's
right?
only,
Like,
cause like
mhm,
from Blood Diamond, there's only 220 reviews from critics,
mhm.
and then the audience score is 250,000 plus ratings.
Yeah. And for Andor, how many critics reviewed it?
It doesn't even say.
Yeah. So whatever it is, like 63% of those critics would give this a thumbs up. Like you should watch this.
Mhm.
Whereas like 90% of them would like recommend Andor. So like Blood Diamond, like an incredibly acted, pretty action-packed movie for a drama.
Mhm.
Like deep, grounded, gritty. Like it's showing you the problems of the world,
Mhm.
right? Particularly in Sierra Leone, and like this garbage. And you're telling me like more people recommend you see Andor than see Blood Diamond? Like really? Dude, like I mean,
Yeah.
it just shows. I mean, it just shows me. It tells me everything. It tells me everything about Rotten Tomatoes, and it tells me everything about what do you call it? Yeah, it tells me everything about like how reactionary people are. I mean, that's basically it. Um, so yeah, man, I think that's just about everything. Like I have to say about this garbage. Uh, to be honest, like I wouldn't have hated the show that much, but
Mhm.
just like with, I mean, we have this in football, and the equivalent is like the unbearable Messi and Ronaldo fan. Okay, there's
Mhm.
billions of fans of football in the world, and ultimately, like a minority of those football fans are Messi and Ronaldo fans. Um, but these are the most unbearable facts of the community. I think like we can agree on that.
Yeah.
And like these guys sometimes make me dislike Messi and Ronaldo because of how like unbearable their agendas are.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel the exact same way about Andor. I
Mhm.
cheered. I cheered when I saw this thing fall off all of the top 10 charts in Nielsen. I cheered
Mhm. Yeah.
because of these. I mean, I had no opinion on Andor. Like, I saw the first 3 episodes. I didn't really get that invested into it, and I moved on honestly. But like, the way some of these dumbasses are like acting like this is gold, this cinematic gold.
I know. Yeah.
Like, dear God, dude. Like, I mean, holy crap. And by the
Yeah.
way, I want to just round off with this. Like, if you really like need intellectual stimulation
Mhm.
from Star Wars rather than like the real relationships or occupation or hobbies that you adopt in real life, it says a lot about you. So
Mhm.
like that's all I'm gonna leave off on. Like I mean, like so like yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, okay, so the World Cup. Uh,
World Cup.
oh, and by the way, like I want to say one more thing. Like if you guys want to see like really good Star Wars,
Mhm.
I would recommend Tales of the Jedi.
Ooh.
I mean, some people would say like it's animated or whatnot. I say give animation a chance because unlike Andor, this is just like 15-minute shorts. They cut right to the chase. In those 15 minutes, you have like tons of characterization, character development,
Mhm.
good action, and it takes it takes you to that place far, far away, man. That galaxy a long time ago, very far, far away.
Mhm.
And it's that classical escapism, like very much like something Lucas would do. Uh, yeah, and that's what I gotta say about that. So, yeah, so go watch Tales of the Jedi. Great show. So the World Cup. So, what do you think about the World Cup overall? Like, what is your assessment?
Um, it's been it's been an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they have all been different throughout the years. 2018 was very interesting. Considering like the Germany losing in the group stages. Russia making it to what, like the quarters, I think it was,
Mhm.
and knocking out Spain, and there was a lot of excitement. You know, the Argentina France game, et cetera, et cetera, and the storylines and all that. But this one, I feel like, well, the first of all, the group games have been pretty interesting, and the teams that have been knocked out are pretty crazy. Like Germany knocked out again for two World Cups in a row. Very surprising.
Crazy.
Spain almost getting knocked out with Germany for
Mhm.
for a few minutes.
Mhm.
Um, Mexico losing again. Um, Japan winning the group. Argentina coming back from the loss to Saudi Arabia to win the group. Um, Brazil wiping the floor with everybody.
Mhm.
There's a lot of, and Morocco winning the group as well,
Mhm.
and South Korea being able to come out from all the way down to become second and kicking Uruguay out. So it's been a lot of pretty cool like storylines and big like team losses, and but also what I keep finding very very suspicious and interesting is how each game the added time is minimum 6 minutes. Every game that I've seen, at least.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, keep going.
Every game that I've seen is minimum 6 minutes extra time. Um, I don't know where they get that number from, and I guess we're gonna talk about that because I think we've talked about that in the Discord a little bit. We mentioned it, and well, in general, overall, the World Cup being in Qatar was a big scandal in the first place. Anyway, they paid FIFA a lot of money. At least that's what.
100%.
Yeah. So, and then reading or watching that FIFA documentary on Netflix, that gives you even more suspicion as to what these people are doing. You know, because I'm sure if Qatar came up to FIFA and they're like, "Listen, we wanna just buy this straight up. Here's however much money you want. We'll make all these, or we'll get a bunch of slaves and make them build all these stadiums and have everything ready by then, and so when the time comes, we'll be good." So, and then that's what happened. They got their slaves to build everything, and then now there they are playing in we're getting to the quarters now. So, it's been like the actual games and stuff itself have been good, but knowing all the stuff around it, I guess it just brings like a dark
crowd.
Yeah, it's like a shadow around it that's like, because the games are good from what we've seen so far, and the competition looks like it's gonna be, especially like the quarters. Like what is it right now? It's just Argentina, Netherlands, and that's it for now, isn't it?
Those two teams have made it.
Yeah. And tomorrow is France,
what
Poland.
In that, what in that second half? I mean, did you watch the Argentina game today?
Not the full game.
Okay.
But I did see a little bit of each half.
Okay. Give me a full game that you did watch.
I mean, well, from what I saw in the Argentina game, well, first of all, Australia definitely put up a big fight, for sure. And Argentina, I guess, are still warming up, in a sense. Because, like, I mean, if they want to win, they should be wiping the floor with a lot of teams. If they want to win the whole thing. And I mean, you know, give credit to Australia as they deserve it for making the games tough. Didn't they beat France?
No. Australia lost for 4-1 to
Who
France.
did they beat?
They beat Denmark.
Denmark. Yeah, they stopped them from advancing. Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's that. But which game did I watch entirely? I watched like 80% of Netherlands US.
Okay.
And then there are some others, but I can't remember really. Oh,
Do
I
what
watched
in
the
that?
entirety of Spain Germany.
Hmm,
Yeah, but continue. Yeah, whatever you were gonna
yeah,
say.
what in that second half of the U.S. Netherlands warranted um 6 minutes of stoppage time?
Oh, uh, mm, I don't see anything that maybe
I don't
like
either, man. I noticed it
max.
too.
I would have said if I like were to say how much time I'd give him maybe 2, max 3 minutes.
Mm. Like I
Maybe
don't think
yeah.
it's anything nefarious.
No.
I just think they just want to like make some drama, man. So
That's what it looks like because each game has been like that and not every game has had any like significant stoppages.
no, man. Like today, that the Argentina Australia game in the second half, like nothing happened. It was very clean.
Yeah.
And then you saw like 7 minutes of added time for no
Mm-hmm.
reason. Like
And
it didn't make any sense at all,
Australia almost scored.
bro. Like I mean, we have to talk about like okay, so who do you think wins it all?
Ugh, man. I hate predicting. Because like
Okay,
okay,
who do you think? Okay, who what's the final four? Like
let me look at the bracket right now. Let me just quickly look at the bracket. Not ESPN. Come on, show me the real bracket. I want to see. I don't want to play the FIFA World Cup bracket. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So we've got Netherlands, Argentina. Okay. Then it's gonna be England, Senegal, France, Poland. That's tomorrow. So I see England and France going through. Okay, and then Japan, Croatia, Brazil, South Korea. I see. Honestly, I don't know how, but Japan does it and they win, and then it'll be Brazil, Japan,
mhm.
and then it'll be so Morocco, Spain, Portugal, Switzerland. The Spain Morocco is very difficult,
Yeah, I think so too.
but I think somehow maybe Asensio scores a last minute goal or
Mhm.
Morata and they win, or maybe it could even go to pens. But
Mhm.
and then it would be Spain, Portugal. Okay, and then the final four. I think Argentina's getting the confidence and they'll beat Netherlands, so it'll be Argentina's one of them. I think
Mhm.
France absolutely destroys England. Not like a 7-0 win or anything like that, but like just
But convincingly.
on the pitch you'll see the dominance from France. So Argentina, France, then Spain, Portugal. I think. Because Portugal have a lot of quality, but didn't they just lose to South Korea? That was the last game they lost to. So I think Spain wins that. Honestly, if I could think of, I mean, I know there's Ronaldo, and he hasn't done much anyway, but I'll just stay with Spain. So the last four: Argentina, France, Spain, Brazil. That's my um, group. Yeah.
Mm.
So That's what I've been thinking. But that's how far I can go, I guess. What about you?
Um,
If you can,
I largely agree with that.
yeah,
I'll say I'll say Morocco versus Spain. That's a good chance of an upset.
yeah,
Um, I'll say uh, hmm, I'll say Croatia, Japan. Yeah, I think Japan actually somehow gets it done there.
mhm,
Um, Switzerland, Portugal is close as well.
mhm.
Yeah, I think those are
Yeah.
like the ones to look out for.
Do you have a team
Um,
that will like? You have the team that'll win? Like, do you have
yeah,
the?
man, I think France is going back to back.
Really?
That's just my prediction. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could see it. Yeah.
Because I think like if they get past England, I don't think there's I don't think there's any of these other guys is gonna beat them, man.
I don't
Like,
think Spain or Portugal or Morocco or Switzerland can beat France.
yeah, I don't even think Portugal's gonna get that far, man, because I haven't been convinced at all by Portugal.
Yeah. I wouldn't be
Um,
surprised if Switzerland beat them. Yeah.
no, yeah, I wouldn't either. Um, yeah, like I mean, Spain, Morocco, that's dicey as well, man. Like,
Mhm.
so whoever comes through that bottom and has to face France in the
Yeah.
semi,
So it,
I don't think
yeah.
like they win, man. Honestly, like,
So it would be, for me, it'd be the Argentina Brazil semi and France Spain semi.
what do you think of Netherlands versus Argentina in the first quarterfinal?
Um, I think I think Argentina are feeling it now. They're on a good run. Messi has scored his goals in the knockout stages. I think hasn't he like never scored in the knockout stages?
I think this was his first.
Yeah.
Mm.
So he's getting the confidence. Um, Alvarez is showing his quality. Lautaro is worrying me that he might be Higuain. He might be a reincarnation of
Mhm.
Higuain. The defense is looking better. Lissandro is looking like a Mascherano now. Um, and Emi Martinez, great goalkeeper, of course. So I think
Mhm.
their team is they've got their team, but I
Mhm.
know Netherlands is what like 9-0 right now.
Yeah, I mean, and they haven't lost
They
yet in
haven't
the World
lost
Cup.
a single game, and I know Van Hal has his tricks up his
You,
sleeves, But hmm, who was the coach when they originally played? Who was Netherlands coach when they played in 2014?
Van Halen.
It was Van Hal.
Mhm.
Oh man.
Argentina's coach changed.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Who
yeah,
was?
it was Sabella
Yeah,
at that
and
time.
now it's Scaloni. Okay.
Yeah, Sabella was probably better.
Because
Also,
it went from Van Hal to Koeman back to Van Hal.
and then Goose Hiddink was in there for a while
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah.
Coleman did pretty good with the Netherlands, which landed
Yeah.
on the Barca.
And then
Mm,
they stole him.
or did he go to Everton and then Barca? I don't know.
No, he went to he
Um,
was at Everton and then he went to the international team.
mm,
And then Barca was like, "Yo, you want to be the coach?" And he was like, "Sure." And then we stole him. And then Van Hal stepped in, if I'm not mistaken.
mm.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think either Argentina narrowly wins, or I could see it going to penalties again.
Yeah, I think it might go to extra time
So
because that's a dicey game.
yeah.
I mean, they gave Argentina lucked out a little bit,
Mhm.
avoiding all the big European teams, but
Yeah.
they really only just have to go through the Netherlands, and then there's Brazil. I'm not entirely convinced by Brazil without Neymar.
That yeah.
With Neymar, like okay, yeah, they're like quite nearly unstoppable, but
Mhm.
like without Neymar, man, like these attackers like just don't convince me, man.
Mhm.
I mean, okay, they beat Switzerland, okay, like that was the first full game they played without Neymar, and it was just like 1-0, man. It was like a crazy bro, like Casemiro, like I know this dude, like he does not score that like on any other day, man. Like you play that game 10 times, and like this is the one time when that ball goes into the net, bro.
Yeah.
Like that was such a highly like technical, skillful goal. Honestly, that game like could easily have like gone 0-0.
Mm-hmm.
And my problem with that is like as good as Brazil's defense is with Casemiro shielding that like that old PSG duo of Marquinhos and Silva, who's now in Chelsea. Like, I mean that's a really good like trio right there. But um, like I just don't know what's gonna happen once they meet Argentina, man. Because like the thing is like if you can't like earn the Netherlands because you can't like they just don't put teams away. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way like France like beat Australia, like you don't really see Brazil do that, even though they've like they've looked pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's what worries me. And for Argentina, man, like bro, like when are these guys gonna like meet a top team, man?
Yeah.
To be honest, like I don't know when they're turning up, man. Like, and if this team could even turn up, bro, because like the performance today was like, I mean, it was like lazy, man. Like this was such a like, bro. Australia was like, I mean, Australia was not good. I mean, overall, right? But like the thing is, like these guys, like, okay, they don't even press a little bit, man. Like, okay, so when Australia is like building from the back, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Argentina gave them like all the time in the world to do that, man.
Yeah.
Like they're not even pressing like a little bit, like. And the thing is, like, they move the ball like so slowly as well. And if I'm gonna be honest, bro, like all the chances, everything they created, everything good that Argentina did came through Messi.
Yeah.
So, and when I see this game, the only player playing like at a really like elite level from both teams was Messi.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because the rest of the Argentina team like looked pretty average.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm seeing like Enzo Fernandez, like that guy's like been hyped like so much, man. I mean, do you remember how much Rodrigo de Paul was hyped
Mm-hmm.
last year after they won the Copa America?
Yeah.
Like they were acting like this guy's the next like great midfielder. But ever since that Saudi loss and like a string of unconvincing performances, this guy's like now he's just called like Messi's bodyguard, man. Um, and this Enzo guy, like I mean, he's talented. He scored a very good goal against Mexico, but like today again, like it's nothing like that special, man. It's very basic stuff. Even Alvarez, like Alvarez is easily better than Lautaro.
Oh,
Okay,
100%.
because at least, but it's like again, it's like just basic things. Like okay, okay, I don't think he even forced the error from the goalkeeper. I just think the goalkeeper just acted stupid, honestly, like and just gifted him that goal because he tried to dribble Alvarez. I don't know why, when he could have just like cleared the ball.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, so like Alvarez got his goal, but again, like the only guy who was actually making things happen here was Messi. And bro, Argentina's defense, like, did you see that moment in the game where
Mm-hmm.
like this Australian, like the left back,
Oh
like
yeah.
he just dribbled past the whole Argentina team.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, like this does not like, okay, there's been like word going around the Messi like fan Messi FC on YouTube, Twitter, wherever. Like they're saying the Saudi game was a fluke. Like, what do you think about that? I don't think it was a fluke, man.
Who was
Personal.
who was saying that?
Saudi Arabia's 2-1 win over Argentina on the first day.
No, but who was
Like,
saying that it was a fluke?
um, I mean, Mr. Walsh, some
Oh
guys on like
God.
the Discord. I mean, plenty of people on Twitter as well. Like, who I don't even know.
Mm. I mean, I get what they're like. I understand what they like their reasoning, but in the World Cup, there's no such thing as flukes.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the goal that Australia scored against Argentina today, maybe that was a fluke.
Yeah.
I'll give them that because it was such an own goal. But like results overall are not flukes in World Cups. They can be in Euros.
Yeah.
Like we saw with Greece, with a very bad Portugal team. Like honestly, with this Italy team too, because they were not that good, and it showed like 2 months later. Um, but like in World Cups, like there's very rarely flukes, and the team that win usually is the best team.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't think of a time when the winning team was not. So yeah, man. Like I just like I don't know with this team, man. I don't know with this team. Like I think it's the same old thing. And honestly, bro, like I have to give Messi his props, man. I have to give Messi his props because the thing is, like now, like I actually understand that, like I mean, I always like knew, but like now it became like even more ingrained that like this guy doesn't really have a great team. Um, in 2014, which I think was their best chance, um, like he didn't do that great, but
Mm-hmm.
the team was like really set up more to defend
Yeah.
and like just like go far. Not too different from the current Brazil team actually, where they're just like balanced and like defensively solid,
Uh-huh.
and they just like go far based on that. And they were competitive based on that. So it's not really like that attacking Barcelona system, like which is like very very favorable to Messi. Like it's kind of like a very gritty, very old school like type of game that like they wanted to play, and it almost worked. I think Argentina's best team was probably the one that is the one that you guys beat in 2016. I think that was their best team because at that time they actually had like a stacked team, and they actually beat Chile,
Uh-huh.
like uh, probably the best Chile side ever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing like they actually beat them without Messi,
Mm-hmm.
um, like which was crazy. Like I don't think this Argentina team would beat that Chile without Messi, man. Like it's just not like the intensity of Chile's press, like the way Chile moved the ball, how slow this Argentina is. Like I don't think they beat Chile without Messi right
Yeah.
now.
Good
Let
times.
me read off like the names
Oh,
of
okay.
that 2016 Argentina team from that Chile game. Uh,
Good times.
that was a good tournament.
Back to back
I
Copas.
I legitimately think
Mm-hmm.
that that Argentina team was probably the best Argentina team ever.
You think
Like,
so?
and I do think that that team was the best team in the world at the time.
Damn.
I think that was like it was unfortunate that that wasn't a World Cup year because I think that would have been the best chance for Messi to win the World Cup. Like
Yeah.
simply. Okay, let me read off the names.
Okay.
Yeah, let me read off the names. Okay, so Mercado, Otamendi, Funes, Rojo. That's the defense. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
good defense. Midfield, Fernandez, like Augusto Fernandez. Like he was in that Atletico Madrid team
Oh
that made the Champions League
yeah,
final that
you're
year.
right. I remember
Okay,
him.
Javier Mascherano, excellent DM. Probably like easily better than any of Argentina's current
Oh
midfielders.
man.
Ever Banega, really good player. Played at Sevilla at the time. Again, better than any of like Argentina's current like AMs.
Mm-hmm.
Gaitan, talented, pretty good. Um, Again, easily better than any of Argentina's current wingers. A younger Di Maria in his prime,
Hmm.
not the 34-year-old that you're
Prime
seeing
Di
now who's
Maria.
like slow and looks washed. And of course, then you had Higuain. You also had Aguero on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the summer before that, in 2015, they had Tevez and they had Pastore. So this is like a stacked team. This is
Mm-hmm.
way better on paper than the team they had this time. And this is such a lie. It's such a lie that this team is like the greatest. Bro, like if I'm gonna be honest, man, like the Copa America that Argentina actually like won,
Mm-hmm.
it's ironic because like this team was not that good. The Copa America which they won last year, like they were not favorites out and out heading into that.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact most people had Brazil beating them. I felt that they would win because I didn't trust Brazil. I don't fully trust Brazil now either.
Mm.
I had Argentina winning that final. Because I just felt like they wanted it more.
Mm-hmm.
and that the pressure of the home field like would be too much for that Brazil team because that Brazil team, like, I feel like in this Brazil there's not enough alphas, man. There's no Ronaldinho, like, there's no
True.
R9,
Yeah.
there's no Roberto Carlos, there's definitely no Cafu in this team. I mean, Casemiro and Thiago Silva, like, I respect them, but they don't have that kind of aura. Okay, Danny Alves, like, he's washed.
Mhm.
Um, and as far as the other teams, Colombia like completely fell off from
Oh yeah.
where they were like 7 years ago. Chile fell off hard.
Mhm.
Uruguay's declined with Cavani and Suarez as they get old.
Mhm.
Okay, like the teams were crap. The teams were crap. Like, bro, like none of these guys know how to play football. None of them know how to press. None of them know. None of them have any IQ. And that's like a big thing that we're going to talk about is like footballing IQ. Um, None of these teams have had any IQ whatsoever. Like the quality was like 2, 3 tiers like below the Euros, which were
Mhm.
going on at the same time. Like,
Mhm.
and everybody was noticed this. But like, okay, Messi, he got the job done and everything. And from that point on, dude, this Argentina team, I felt like it was like so overrated. Like, like the same team that people were like doubting at the beginning of the Copa America.
Mhm.
Now that they've won the Copa America against a pretty average Brazil side. Like the Brazil side of last summer wasn't as strong as it is now.
Mhm.
So a pretty average Brazil side. Um, like suddenly they're like World Cup favorites now. Like
Mhm.
it made no sense at all. And people saw like France lost to Switzerland. They saw that Germany's like not that strong. Um, England's England. So like they everybody was just like, okay, yeah, like okay, if it's not Argentina, it's Brazil, and these two countries are just gonna like win this World Cup easily. Um, and I have like screenshot after screenshot after screenshot of like ESPN, Guardian, like all these guys saying Argentina were like heavy favorites going into this tournament,
Mhm.
and they lose the very first game.
Mhm.
And since then they've improved, I guess, but like the performances haven't been convincing. But the key thing is like even with unconvincing, bro, like let's be honest, man. Like okay, they got like I think they got the easiest group in the entire tournament, man.
Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
because this is the word. Like, I don't remember a time when Mexico was this bad.
Oh my God, no! Don't even. There's the
I'm
decline
not,
of
dude.
Mexico.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think that Mexico team that lost 7-0 to you guys like was probably better than this one
Yes.
because that team like used to dominate the U.S. and Canada. This Mexico team
Mhm.
has been like losing to America to Canada for like the last 2 years. I
Mhm.
think the U.S. like beat them in like finals. And dude, Argentina, man, like, bro, they're like struggling against these guys. They're struggling against Saudis. They're struggling against Poland. I mean, like, okay, Poland was probably their best performance because Poland had like no attacking plan. I just think they were playing for a draw. And today, man, like, dude, man, like, bro, you're supposed to put these guys away, and they were playing at like a glacial pace. And when we're talking about like footballing IQ, right?
Mhm.
I just think like the European teams, like okay, like I said, like Messi had a very high footballing IQ. Like he was like on that level, and you can see like, dude, if this guy chose Spain, like Spain would be like unstoppable. But like you can see like these guys have zero IQ. And then I want to talk a little bit about IQ. So I like told people this like earlier today, right? And like people are saying like Spain, like they had unconvincing perform. Spain would like take this Argentina team to school.
Mhm.
Spain like dude, like now that you watched the Argentina versus Australia game, go back and watch Spain versus Germany. People were saying like Spain has its weaknesses, blah 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 blah. Bro, look how fast Spain closed down the ball. Look at how Spain complete passes. Look at Spain's combination play. Look at Spain's passing movement. Look at the movement, Brendan. Like, bro, high level football, high IQ football
Mhm.
is all about like how teams combine, making those short passes, cutting open defenses, and how
Forget
players
Spain,
move.
like even like Japan, like they play like amazing football too.
Amazing football, bro. Like that group, like was amazing. Like that was the group of death because Germany, Japan, and Spain they all know how to play.
Hmm.
I mean, people criticize Germany, but Germany's still like a high IQ team, man. They're not like these guys. Like, bro, like, dude, when I look at Argentina, man, like these guys, like it's like it's they're average, man. Like compared to like these European sides, they just look so average.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that they move, like the way they move the ball, like their intensity, the lack of pressing, like oh my god, my good dude. I mean, dude, this is a messy carry jump, man. Like that's all I gotta say about like this team. So like Pact man, like you just joined. We're recording. So like, any thoughts on the World Cup?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you guys were recording.
Yeah.
Um, I was just gonna say that Messi, like the Messi, especially second half, that Messi dribble, like his performance, it was like vintage. Like I haven't seen that Messi in a long time, so it was great to see that.
No, Messi was incredible today. Man. Like he was like so good. Dude,
Yeah, no, like
what did you catch, Pablo, from the game? Because I know you didn't like watch the full thing.
So I saw the goals. Um, yeah, so I saw Messi's goal. I saw what's his face Alvarez's goal. And then I forgot who scored for. I don't even remember who scored for Australia, but it was mostly just the goals, and then that last bit where they gave them like 6 minutes extra, and they kept bombing on both sides. Like Argentina had like I don't even know how many chances, and then Australia kept like getting close to scoring as well. So that's the last thing I remember. But yeah,
I mean, to be fair, it's good that you're actually watching football again, Pablo. But yeah, it wasn't the most entertaining game, but like it had a lot of drama and moments, especially like the Australia player that like almost scored like the last one of the game. That would have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
yeah, and the save from Emmy, I remember that. But that's all I got from that.
Bro, so predictions for tomorrow.
um, Poland is gonna win and Senegal is gonna win.
Nice.
If that happens, I might just do a face reveal because not a chance in hell.
Yeah, they,
If both my teams go out tomorrow, oh, I don't know what I'll do with myself. But no, I hope we have the Pac Mouse derby. Hopefully, France England in the quarterfinals. But I think Senegal very tricky team, so that's gonna be a difficult game.
I think it goes to extra time, possibly, but I think England edges it out. And I think, yeah, I think this, like, but Poland did not convince me at all against Argentina, so, like, I think France just, like, beats them up, to be honest. And then we'll
Not
get the
only that,
derby.
like even against like Saudi Arabia had them on the ropes. Like if they scored that penalty, it could have been a different game.
Well, and by the way, like, I know this is, like, kind of a controversial opinion or whatnot, dude, but, like, Lewandowski, big games, like, I mean, like, deep down, we all know the reality of the situation. Right? So,
Yeah.
we all know, like, Giroud's going to, like, take him to school tomorrow. I trust the big G. So yes, those are my predictions.
Giroud is gonna score a scorpion kick again.
I
All
think
right, so
I think if he gets like if Deschamps just gets the midfield and defense right, then like this France team is almost unbeatable. That's just like the key that like that's needed. Especially but against Poland, like they shouldn't have any problems. Like Poland are not a great football team.
no, they're not, man. Like, okay, so what's your final pact? Because I asked Pablo that. Like, what's your final four, and what's your final, and who's the
Yeah.
winner?
I think I had my final four as Brazil, Argentina, France, and I think it was. Here, let me check quickly. It might have been Spain. I think it was
Yes,
Spain.
we
I
agree,
hope it's
Pact.
Spain.
We agree.
Spain and Portugal, definitely Spain. I think it was.
We agree, Pact. That was mine on the dot.
And my final, I might be biased, but my final is Argentina versus France.
I think that's gonna be the final
Oh
four,
my
honestly.
god, that would be
I'm just not like
insane.
convinced by Brazil because like Argentina like can like shut this Brazil team down in my opinion.
Dude, that's what I was just telling Pablo, man. Like,
Yeah.
especially like with a Neymar that's not fully fit. Like these Vinicius and Rafinha, they just and even Richarlison, like they just don't convince me.
Yeah, especially like Anthony. Like Anthony does like a couple tricks on the pitch, absolutely no end product. So
Yeah, and Jesus is injured as well, so that's another like option that Brazil don't have from the bench anymore.
Yeah, and like what's called the striker they brought on the I think his name's Everton or whatever. Absolute
Hmm.
pony.
Yeah, like
Effort.
I don't think much has changed from last year, honestly, man. I still think Argentina can edge.
Yeah. And to be fair, if Di Maria doesn't play, like I think that's a loss for them. But I
Hmm.
think if he's back, it'll be good.
But
But
Anish
I
predict.
think like,
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I just think that I mean sometimes like teams like can get exposed even in the latter stages, man. Like we saw it like probably the most extreme case of that was when Brazil um kind of shithoused their way through the 2014 like group stage round of 16 quarters, and then like they just got the reality check of all lifetimes in that semifinal. Um
Not only
and
that, like even like Uruguay versus Germany, like I think Germany went 3-1 up in that game, and like Uruguay kind of got outclassed. Oh no,
mhm.
not Germany. Sorry, was it no, against Holland? What am I saying? Germany for Uruguay against Holland in 2010. Like Holland just
Yeah,
outclassed them.
yeah. When Van Bronckhorst scored that like worldy,
Yeah, exactly. What a goal that
yeah,
was.
like that was pretty sick. I don't think Argentina obviously is gonna lose 7-1 or anything like that, dude. But like, I think I just think when they meet like a top tier like European team, that like plays high IQ football, I think the movement of like all like top European teams like they know how not just how to move the ball quickly in tight spaces, but it's just the movement of the attackers like popping up here there. Like so I think Guardiola like really perfected it, and I gave um when I was talking to like Jalen earlier, and I think it was undisputed. And I was like, I think Spain beat Argentina, and like I was like, and they were like, no, Spain don't have a good attack, which is true, they don't. But it's about IQ, right? And I like gave them the example of Barcelona, especially in the Guardiola era, where like players like especially like Guardiola's like whole thing is like actually not just possession but also positioning, and like especially because they didn't play with a whole lot of attackers on the pitch, he often had like his midfielders like move around a lot and pop up in spaces like where you wouldn't expect them. And I like gave them the example of like Xavi's goal in that 5-0 Clasico where like like Barca, they were just moving the ball, moving the ball, moving the ball, putting the defenses to sleep and everything, just making people dizzy. And then like their midfielders would move around, they would pop up in random spots, and then Xavi just like popped up right in the box and he scored that tap. And like that's what top teams do. And like if you're not used to that, like you get a reality check. So I think that's what's gonna happen to Argentina in that final. Like, cause like whoever they meet, like it's going to be like a well drilled, battle hardened team, because I think like that side of the bracket is much tougher when I see it. Like, what do you guys think?
No, I agree. I just feel like I know you said the tests obviously, but I just feel like if they like today they tried to conserve energy like in the second half against Australia. I think if they get like that same thing against Holland, where like they can just like rest players, or like pop them down the line when they actually do go to those kind of games, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to like going through like extra time, like 90 minutes, like grueling football. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Holland game is exciting because I really want to see what Argentina do on their first real test. Like this Holland team isn't really like the strongest team in the world, but it's still like I think it's probably the most difficult test Argentina faced up to this point easily.
Oh yeah, I think no doubt about that.
Yeah. All right. So any last thoughts, guys?
Um, I don't know. How do you think? How do you think? This is an interesting question. How do you think Maradona would be reacting right now if he was still alive?
I think he would have made out with a Australian woman.
True, you're right. Snoring some coke on her ass or something.
Oh, get some coke on a tits like in the ground.
Mhm. But
Yeah,
like,
no,
hopefully he
I think
remembers to do it backstage this time, man, and not like in the front. You know what? Like, you saw that Nigeria game, like in the 2018 World Cup. I mean, we all saw the memes and everything. Like, and he
yeah,
claimed that it was just a little bit of white wine, just a little bit of white wine that made him like go berserk in the stands. But I mean, like, do with that what you will.
yeah, no. But to be fair, I think he'd be proud of like how Messi and like the team's playing. Because
Mm.
compared to like 2018, this team is like actually like cohesive and like actually plays like a team.
They're cohesive. Like when you compare them to Portugal, especially like obviously the Messi Ronaldo comparisons are gonna pop up, but Argentina have a more cohesive team than Portugal, man. Like I have no faith at all in this Portuguese team.
I'd still say Portugal have like I think they have more talent, like
Yeah.
man to man, but as a team, like I would have to like agree with you right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, if ever was here, like we know what he
Yeah,
would say.
man. Portugal gonna win, bro.
I would still be talking about like the coke on the tits, but yeah.
And then a little bit of Santos slander, like in the middle.
What would
Oh, yeah,
what would Muntaha say if he was here?
Oh, speaking of Muntaha,
What
yeah,
happened? What happened with Muntaha?
Did you finally?
we all know how Muntaha's supporting England, right?
He is.
I think so. Oh my god, brother.
Mundi. Oh my god.
Bro, we need to like call that guy sometime, man. We need him. We need to get him back here. I need him in that final, especially if Mbappe wins.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna make sure that he's here for at least for all the semi games.
You better be.
I made sure to take the day off from work to watch the World Cup final. So
You know what? The only thing that sucks about it is that like especially East Coast, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. It kind of sucks, but
yeah. But I'll gladly wake up to watch the final. So.
oh yeah, no doubt about that.
Do you think we'll do a watch along for it, or do you think we'll all watch separately?
Because I might not be alone for that.
Oh, okay.
But I'll try.
Got you. So I'll probably.
All right, so
yeah, I'll probably just be in my room, or not in my room, in the living room watching. So, but we'll see. Isn't that not next week? The week after?
Yeah, but doesn't that mean you're whoever you're supporting is gonna lose? I think that's the thing, right?
What?
Or does that just apply to Barca?
I guess we'll see. I don't know.
We'll support Argentina, man. Please, man.
I'm supporting Argentina, Japan, and South Korea.
Okay, so now we know who's gonna lose.
I mean, side note: if Japan and Korea win the games, it's gonna be a Japan-Korea quarterfinal.
Oh,
that'd be crazy.
That would be absolutely beautiful. Ching versus Chong. You know?
Relax that, bro.
I want to censor that. But to be fair, you are Asian, so I guess we don't.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's true. My bad.
So any last thoughts before we wrap up?
If Tom was here, he'd say some choice words, but I'm not gonna repeat.
Yeah, he'd say some certain things, but I think that's it from at least I don't know. I'm just excited to see the upcoming games. So.
Yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, same.
Do you have any final thoughts, Anish?
I just want to see Giroud dunking on Lewandowski, man. And some reactionaries on Twitter saying he's better.
37-year-old Giroud.
Well, the man's throwing bicycle kicks, man. I respect it.
Hey, to be fair, you can't not respect it, so yeah.
Any last thoughts from you, Pact? Al?
Honestly, it's been a way better World Cup than I've expected, and I think the knockouts. I don't think the upsets and like the draw was going to stop in the knockout stages. So I'm just excited to see what the football has to come. It's going to be a little sad seeing like not having football every single day, like after Tuesday. But I'm excited to see what's going to come, and yeah, it's been a great World Cup. And to conclude, fucking come on, England.
England, bro. We will see, yeah.
We will.
All right. Oh wait, what time is the game tomorrow for you for England?
It's the England game's at 2:00 for me.
Oh jeez. Wait, what time is it for me? Hold on, I just want to do real quick.
I think it's gonna be the same, man.
Yeah, I think we're both Eastern Standard Time, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, too.
So we all have to deal with morning games.
I'll be working though, so I won't be able to see either of them. Oh man, I wish I could have just taken this whole month off to watch every game, but
Ah, feeling mate.
sadly no. But it's okay. At least I can watch both of my people play on what's it called, on Monday. South Korea and Japan.
True, true. I think Japan could cause an upset, but at the same time, they've never been past round 16, so we'll see. But I think they could beat Croatia.
I'm rooting for them. But yeah, so all right. Anything else? Or are we all good for tonight?
Yeah, we all good.
I think we're all good, yeah.
Bro. Well, it was nice catching up with you guys again. It's been a long time since I've talked on here. And
For sure, yeah.
It's been a long time
Great chat with you,
since I've watched a full game of football.
for the first time since lockdown.
Exactly. And it's been a while since, well, not a while, but it's been a few months since we've posted anything. So, but yeah, great time. And it was we did a pretty good time. It was like an hour and 30, so not too bad. But, alright everyone, we will do more videos soon, and obviously we'll probably do something for when we get to the final. Maybe like a preview or something. Then a reaction after. But, alright, we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.
Take care, guys.